The school run done, the bags packed, and the dog's paperwork was printed. We had one destination, Germany. With nothing but a tent and no guarantee of a pitch, we set off across Europe to the world's biggest overlanding show. But as we rolled into Bad Kissingen, the heavens opened. Welcome to Let's Truck Off, and this is our Abenteuer Allrad adventure, part 1.
Yeah.
Have we got Brianna?
Yeah. And we have Mummy.
We've got Mummy! This is when I knew it was going to be a long drive. We had finished the packing while Brie was at school, and then we picked her up and made our way down to the Eurotunnel. We had one excited little adventurer, and when she was finally asleep, we grabbed a few hours of sleep ourselves. Now, that early wake-up call suddenly became a lot more important than we realised. We were booked onto the 6:25 shuttle, but somehow managed to get checked into the earlier crossing. And at the time, it just felt like a bonus. But what we didn't know was that the campsite we were heading to was filling up fast.
Which one shall we go? Well, we made it 2.
As we were checking in, we were already seeing lots of overlanders, and I'm going to give you one guess as to where they were heading. We actually know where some of them were heading because we actually followed them on socials. And unknowingly to us, we'd end up catching up with them on the other side of the tunnel too. So we checked in using their online system, and then it was a short drive to get the dog checked in as well. We did have to do this in a separate area, but the process was really simple. Now, we've actually used the Eurotunnel before, so we did know where pet reception was, but it's in the main area and it's really hard to miss.
Needed to check the dog in.
Yes, we did. We needed to check the dog in, so we needed to take the dog and his paperwork over to pet reception. They checked it, they gave us the all clear, and it was that simple. But if you are travelling to Europe with any animal, we highly recommend that you check the protocols before you travel, because you do need set time frames before they are allowed to cross the border. So you can't necessarily just do a last minute trip with them. But that said, it was a really easy process once we knew what we were doing.
We ready to go. They check our passport.
They did, and there were 2 stations, so we had to firstly get our passports checked at the British one, and then it was over to the French one where they also checked our passports. And the process was fairly simple, it was well organised, and we were through really quickly. And just like that, it was time to get the train.
Ready to go on the car train.
Do you remember those overlanders from earlier that we spotted at check-in? Well, we were about to meet up with them again because we had unofficially joined the back of the convoy. And just like that, it was engines off and over to France we go.
Country we live in. This one. England.
Of course, Brianna needed the toilet, and if you ever find yourself needing the toilet on the Shuttle, don't go. It's not worth it. But it was a good opportunity to check out the other vehicles that were on there, and there were some amazing vehicles. And after just 35 minutes, we were in France, so it was time to get off and start the next part of the journey across to Germany. But before we take you into one of the biggest overland and adventure travel shows in the world, we should probably tell you who we are. So if you don't know, we are Kelly, Luke and Brianna, and we have our dog Fraser, and we are a family from the UK with a growing dream of one day swapping ordinary life for extraordinary adventures. And our goal is to build an expedition truck, travel the world in it, and show our daughter just how incredible this planet can be. But right now, we're still at the beginning of that journey, and that's exactly why we decided to make the trip to Abenteuer Allrad in Germany. We came here to learn, to gather ideas, to meet people, to see what's possible, and maybe, just maybe, take one step closer to our own future plans. Now, we knew that the day's travelling would be a long one, so this nap was absolutely allowed. But we had planned some lessons, some games, and some stops along the way. This was one of the services in Belgium, and how incredible was it that they had trampolines. But you did have to pay to use the toilet, and it was about 86p. But I have to admit, these facilities were spotless, and probably one of the best toilets I've ever been in. Brianna, of course, she cashed in on that ice cream that Luke had promised her yesterday, but the service station itself was phenomenal, and I love the fact that they had trampolines because Brie could literally go and let off some energy and bounce it all out because we had a long day ahead of us. You've probably already noticed how windy it was and how grey those clouds looked. So I was starting to get a little bit concerned about us and our tent when we got there. Now, this is not a paid ad, but we do have something called Endrino on Brianna's tablet. It is a learning app designed for children aged around 4 to 8 years old, and it combines digital games with physical characters. And it helps Brie develop skills such as reading, numbers, maths, logical thinking, creativity, emotions, and more. Not here. Yes, apparently that is the border to Germany. Do you remember these guys that we met at check-in? Well, this is the moment that we accidentally joined onto their convoy on the way to Abenteuer Allrad. I have to admit though, it did make for a fun journey, and I certainly enjoyed videoing going past them. I am aware that a lot of these guys do have social media handles, so if you want to go and give them a follow, I will try and put all their handles into the comments. You won't be disappointed if you do go and give them a follow though. Picture this beautiful bracelet that Brianna's made me. Very talented. Overall, it was about 12 hours of driving that day, and that was factoring in just some stops for Brianna and the dog. As we approached Bad Kissingen, which is where the Abenteuer Allrad show was being hosted, we started seeing some of the bigger trucks. And we also started seeing some of the camp signage, which was really encouraging, but it was a little confusing where we needed to go.
1 and 2 closed, look, so you got to go.
So the original entrance through Camp 1 and 2 was closed there. And we had heard on the way down that Camp 1 was full. But here you can see Camps 3 and 4. And I have to admit, my heart was pounding at this point because they looked pretty full as well. But to get to these camps, it was actually quite a drive. So we just followed the signage and we joined the queue. And as you can see here, the heavens opened up. And I would much rather be staying in that truck than in a tent. And you might be wondering why a family travelling all the way across Europe to attend one of the biggest overland shows in the world decided to stay in a tent. Well, honestly, it's because that's what we could afford. We did look at lots of different options, flying and getting a hotel, taking the caravan with us, and I'll be honest, I'm glad we didn't take the caravan now. It would have been easy just to stay at home and wait until we had the perfect setup, the perfect vehicle, the perfect budget, but we've learnt that adventures don't start when everything is perfect. So hello Camp 3, we are here and we have a tent, and you will be pleased to know we found a spot. We did also find out that just 3 hours after we pitched up, every camp was full. Yes, that is 5 camps completely full to capacity. But we all got together and we pitched our tent up, and our tent was kindly gifted to us by Trail Outdoor Leisure, which we will do a full review of shortly. Did we feel completely out of place in a tent full of Overlander expedition trucks? Absolutely not. And hopefully over the next couple of videos you'll see exactly why that was the case. So join us next week for part 2, where we will take you further inside Camp 3, we'll take you inside of the show itself, and we will give you a sneak peek into what Abenteuer Allrad is really like. This is our journey into full-time Overlander life, and we can't wait to bring you along with us. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for our channel to keep up with any updates.